It has been 4 days since the official release of Silver Tempest. We had some product that was opened early. A lot of big box stores like Walmart and Target kind of broke release date, broke street date a little bit. You could buy blisters early, you could buy sleeve boosters early, which is totally fine. You know, a lot of people excited about Silver Tempest trying to pull that alternate art Lugia. And we study prices pretty closely when a new set releases. We always look to kind of see what the percentage drop is. It's no secret that pre-order prices are inflated when it comes to singles. A lot of storefronts are cracking packs, a lot of people are cracking packs, and then they're trying to turn around and sell those cards at the highest price point. FOMO takes over and people pay a little bit more than what they probably should pay on their chase cards just to make sure that they can get those copies first. Or some people like to buy these cards right away so that way they can get cards graded quickly, maybe be the first one with that black label or be the first one with the PSA 10, but it's no secret that after the release of a new set, singles drop considerably. They tank, they go way, way down. And we've looked in the past kind of measuring and studying how good a set is based off of how big that percentage drop is. And for a lot of videos, I have looked and compared pre-order pricing to the Monday after to kind of get a feel for how far a set has dropped as far as singles go. I did things a little differently with Silver Tempest because I really wanted to get a good feel with how many cards are going to be hitting the open market, because when TCG Player lists cards for pre-orders, the only stores that can really sell pre-orders are pre-release stores, stores that are brick and mortar, stores that officially go through TCG Player's program to be listed as a pre-release store. So once release date hits on Friday, that meant that anybody, basically anybody, as long as they have a TCG Player seller account, can list their singles. So I thought, okay, well, let's do things a little differently. We're going to look at prices on opening day. So I went and I screenshotted a bunch of different listings on TCG Player opening day and was like, let's see how far this set drops. Let's see what happens, because I figured some competitive cards in this set, like Lugia V-Star, those might not see that big of drops. Those might actually go up in price. We've seen that before with a lot of other cards like Mewtwo and Mew. We've seen it with Palkia. We've seen it with a lot of cards that are super competitive, but Silver Tempest is bad. Silver Tempest, a lot of singles have dropped like we have not seen before. We're talking 30, 40, 50, 60% drops in some areas just from opening day till the Monday after. And that really begs the question of why open a booster box when you can just buy singles for a much, much cheaper price point. Now, I know there's a lot of fun opening booster packs. There's a lot of fun chasing that chase card. But if you look at it from an actual economical standpoint, which we like to look at things because we want to make sure that we're spending our collection dollars wisely. That's why it's so important not to overspend when it comes to cracking packs. Get your fill. Like, obviously, you want to get your fill, have your fun, but there is a fun cost. We talk about fun cost frequently. There's a fun cost that is associated with each one. So we're going to go into the percentage drops just to kind of get a feel so you can get a better understanding of maybe when is the best time to buy singles. When are they going to be at their lowest? If you enjoy the content, please hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a like, leave a comment. It goes a long way for the algorithm. Helps us chase our goal even closer. We're shooting for that 100K mark this year. I don't know if we're going to get there, but it's a lot of fun trying. We're going to start, and the screenshots on the left, I apologize, they're a little bit blurry because they're from my phone. So I just took screenshots on my phone and then sent them over, and then I took snips of the actual listings last night. So Monday, November 14th, to get a feel, or Tuesday, or Monday, November 14th. Yeah, today's Tuesday. Oh my goodness, I'm way all over the place. To get a feel for what drops look like. So on the left-hand side here, we're looking at Lugia V, the alternate art. This was on Friday morning, so opening day, a lot of places had listed their cards. You can see the lowest listing at about $348.69 with the market price of $309.92. TCG Player's market price frequently updates. So that means during the wee hours of the morning, like 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, when people finally got to start listing their cards, they were selling for as low as that $309 mark. That means that was a new market price that had been established. They got bought out a little bit, and it went up to $348.69. But the people who bought these cards, these Lugia alternate arts, at that $309 price point, still overpaid, because look at how far down it dropped. On Monday, it went all the way down to $239.25 as a market price. That's a 23% drop just in a span of a few days. And like I said, I know prices drop, but going from pre-order pricing to Monday pricing, that's a much, much more significant drop if we're looking at opening day now from just 3 days later. So 23% drop on that one. The Reggie Drago V alternate art also taking big hits, going from $92.77 on Friday down to $56.71. That's a 39% drop. So that's fairly substantial. And then if we even look at the Unknown V, this is actually the second most expensive card in the set right now. The Unknown alternate art did pass up the Regidrago. $86.97 is where it was selling for on opening day. 34% drop down to $57.76. We're going to get some more significant drops coming up here, especially with the Lugia V-Star Secret Rare. A lot of people really like this Rainbow Rare, and it does look really clean, really crisp. $85.15 is where it was selling for on Friday on opening day, and you can see it dropped like a rock. $40.18 is what you can buy it for right now. That's a 53% drop. That's very, very big for a opening weekend drop on a new set. If we look at Serena, this is the most popular full art supporter in the set. This dropped 38% from $73.15 down to $45.70, and its Rainbow Rare variant at one point in time, the sixth most expensive card in the set, went from $54.89, dropped 41% down to that $32.23. Like I said, a 41% drop. The Lugia V full art, this one took a pretty big hit as well. 30%, it dropped $38.75 down to $20.03. The gold version of the Lugia V Star actually did pretty well. It got bought out pretty early on Friday morning. $37.35 was its market price, but you could see the lowest listings had it all the way up to $63 early in the morning on Friday morning. Right now, though, a new market price has been established of $39.89. That's about a 7% gain. So there's only two cards, I believe, that went up a little bit from where they were Friday morning. The Lugia V-Star Gold card is one of them. Jumped up about 7%. More so just kind of seemed to level out a little bit. The Skunk Tank alternate art not doing nearly as well as the other alternate arts. $36.82 is where it was on Friday. You can see it all already dropped to $24.77. I do expect this card to be one of the cheaper alternate arts that we see. Should drop below $20 fairly quickly here. If we look at the Candace Rainbow Rare, this one went from $32.50 on Friday down to $21.10. That's a 35% drop. But the full art, probably the second most popular full art support on this set, took a huge hit from $31.12 down to $15.65. So that's a 50% drop over the weekend. Lugia V-Star went from $23.83 up to $24.51. We expected this one to really stay around the mid-20s, early 30s, somewhere around that price point, just because it's a very, very highly anticipated card when it comes to competitive playability. Should do really well in future tournaments, which I think for the longevity purposes of this card should fare pretty well in the market moving forward. If we look at the Rainbow Rare Worker, this one took a pretty significant hit from $18.99 down to $11.02. That's a 42% drop. Unknown V-Star, the Secret Rare Unknown, definitely one of those cards that was difficult for PokeRev to pull. Went from $17.97, that $18 price point, dropped 48% down to $9.28. That's pretty substantial. Regidrago V-Star, the Secret Rare, the Rainbow Rare, $17.75 down to $11.93. That's a 24% price drop. And then if we look at the Energy Switch, the gold card, $17.73 is where it was on Friday, dropped down to $10.28. So that's a 42% drop. The V-Guard Energy, a much bigger drop, dropped 54% from $17.47 down to $8.06. Very, very substantial. The Lance Full Art went from $17.24 down to $10.20. That's a 41% drop. The Superior V-Star, this one is very intriguing because this one is dirt cheap when you compare it to the other gold Pokemon cards that we've had in release. This one is hovering near the bottom, right around the same price point as like the Rillaboom, the Flaffy, some of those cheaper gold secret rare Pokemon cards from $17.13 down to $8.57. Tough to pull, but very, very cheap. So maybe looking at the time now where you might want to be snatching up some of these cards, it's a 50% drop. If we look at the secret rare Wallace, the Rainbow Rare, $16 and a penny down to $10.06. That's a 37% drop. The Regilecki VMAX Rainbow Rare went from $15.74 down to $9.09. It's a 42% drop. I believe this is the last page before we look at the actual trainer gallery. The Lance Rainbow Rare went from $15.19 down to $8.64. That's a 43% drop. The Alolan Vulpix V-Star Rainbow Rare, not too bad, from $14.63 down to $12.97. That's an 11% drop. Look at the Furisode Girl. This one took a huge hit from $14 on Friday down to $5.61. That's a 60% drop. I believe that's the second biggest drop that we've had in Silver Tempest. Rayquaza VMAX, this really cool artwork from the trainer gallery from $57.40 down to $41.46. That's a 28% drop. Friends and Galar went from $29.68 down to $23.86. That's a 20% drop. Then we've got the Superior V, another really cool looking trainer gallery card, dropped from $27.45 down to $16.89. We covered the trainer gallery a couple days ago on Sunday in our video. Really interesting to see how far these Silver Tempest trainer gallery cards have dropped already. That's a 38% drop for the Superior V. Blaziken VMAX dropped 30% from $24.16 down to $16.91. $191. The Rayquaza VMAX, that gold and black card, this one took the biggest hit out of every card in Silver Tempest. It dropped 73% from $23.85 is where it was on Friday, all the way down to $6.35. A huge drop, 73%. The Duraludon VMAX, not the black and gold one, but the better looking one, in my own personal opinion, $13.77 down to $13.44, so only a 2% drop for that one. Corviknight VMAX dropped 47% from $11.77 down to $6.19. Professor Burnett from $11.21 down to $6.63. Blissey V went from $10.82 to $8.79. Blaziken V went from $10.33 down to $9.88. So only a 4% drop for that one. Then Zeraora V dropped 28% from $10.04 down to $7.24. The Mawile V dropped 26% from $9.57 down to $7.11. Raihan dropped from $8.83 down to $7.29. That's a 17% fall. Corviknight V dropped from $5.49 down to $5.24. That's only about 5%. Kricketune V dropped 19% from $5.49 down to $4.47. And then the last three that we're going to look at, Swordward and Shieldbird dropped from $4.54 down to $2.86. That's a 37% drop. Also a 37% drop for Gordy from $4.04 down to $2.56. And Judge dropped 4% from $3.72 down to $3.56. It really starts begging the question of when the best time is to buy singles, because some of these are very cheap. I do expect some of them to drop a little bit lower. A lot of times the trainer gallery kind of gets looked at first, especially when you get some of these dirt cheap cards like Judge, like Gordy, like Swordward and Shieldbird that are a little bit more difficult to pull, that are still selling for only a few dollars a piece. So a lot of people really start kind of buying up those singles. You might see a little trickle up in price where they go about $5, $6, somewhere around that price point not too long after a set releases. But with the Silver Tempest continuing to be opened, usually about 2 weeks after a set releases is really when you can kind of see them at their low point. But things seem to be shifting a little bit with so much product being opened right away at the beginning. A lot of people kind of chasing their chase cards of the set, whether it be a Lugia or a Regidrago or a Skuntank. They want to get those cards as quickly as they can, so they just kind of sell their excess cards and sell them for, it's a race to the bottom. It's that race to the lowest priced, the lowest listing on TCG Player to try and sell. And that's why you get some of these ridiculously cheap, ridiculously large decreases. Like I said before, we talked about pre-order pricing and how big those can be. A lot of times you'll see cards drop 60, 70% from pre-order pricing down to the opening weekend price, but rarely do you see prices this significant drop from opening day down to a few days after release. Usually it's not quite as severe because right away on that opening day, people are kind of buying things up at those a little bit inflated prices. It's just a very, very substantial drop, and it just goes to show you how much product is being opened still. So the demand is still there for Pokemon, but because there's so much supply out there, it really brings a lot of these price points down, thus resulting in some bigger drops, and really starts begging the question of how much product do you really open. And that's why a lot of times I'll recommend open up a few booster boxes, open up an ETB, kind of get your master set started, and then buy in singles as you see fit. But enjoy that time while you're opening packs. Don't expect to be pulling a lot of value out of your booster boxes, because a lot of time takes a long time for these cards to mature in value, especially once you got to wait through rotation. You got to wait years down the road, especially with the amount of supply that's out there right now. There was a lot of interesting news going on in Hasbro, in Bank of America, involving the Wizards of the Coast product Magic the Gathering and overprinting situations, and how difficult that stock price is falling because of the overprinting. Pokemon kind of going through the same thing. You see a lot of storefronts closing, a lot of online retailers closing because they just can't handle not making any profit. There's no profit out there to be made because they're constantly selling things at a loss. And if you open up product pre-order to try and sell singles, if they're not selling and people are waiting, prices dip even harder because there's so much product being open. So it's all just a giant mess right now. It's very interesting to kind of keep an eye on, keep track of. Like I said, if you enjoy the content, please hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a like, leave a comment. It does go a long way for the algorithm. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch the video. I really appreciate you guys. Until next time, I'll talk to you soon. Peace.